Hi there, my name is Dave Harris. I've been a commercial and residential interior and exterior painter for the last 11 years now. And today we're going to discuss some techniques to add texture to a painted surface. There are a lot of reasons why somebody might add a texture to a painted wall. The most obvious reason is that they're sick of pouring plain Jane white flat walls. So the first technique I'm going to demonstrate is called combing, and the way combing works is you're going to start out with a paint, and you notice I put a nice base coat down. You're going to start out with your top coat, and you're going to want to use a brush, not a roller, and you're going to want to put on a very thick, dense amount of paint on top of the top coat or your primer, whichever you decide to go for. And you're going to want to be very sure that you add quite a bit of paint, because you don't want it to be too thin, because what we're doing here is creating texture. So after you've covered your area, you're going to do is you're going to take just a simple household comb, fine tooth, wide tooth. I prefer wide tooth, and you're just going to scrape it across the paint real quick in sort of a crosshatch pattern, and it's going to create this textured appearance of bumps and lines, and it's a really simple, cheap way to add texture to a wall. The final technique we're going to discuss to add some texture to a wall is to actually add an element of texture into the paint, and I'm going to use some sand. This is just a very fine sand. You're not going to want to use something too coarse. You can buy this at pretty much any arts and crafts store. Generally, what we're trying to accomplish by adding the sand to the paint is to create kind of a plaster-like substance. You can do this job with a plaster trowel or a cement trowel, but I like to do it with a brush, simply because I think that it gives a little bit more of an even coat, and it doesn't have such a patchy appearance in the end. All right, so after you've added the sand of the paint, you're going to get this kind of goopy, gloppy substance. You're still going to want to paint it on rather thin. You're not going to want to put giant chunks of paint on there, otherwise it'll never dry and it'll look pretty horrible in the end. And something different about painting sand into a texture is that sand, unlike paint, will clump in spots, and you're going to want to make sure that the sand is evenly distributed all over the wall, not just in little clumps. And that's how you add sand to a paint to give texture to a wall. My name is Dave Harris. I'd like to thank you for coming in and learning how to apply texture to a painted surface and letting me share my expertise with you. I'd also like to wish you the best of luck with your future painting projects.